All right, welcome to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel, your go-to place for non-staff, non-biased, multi-style reviews. My name is Chris, and I will be bringing a high-rev perspective.
And my name is Josh, and I will be bringing a low-rev perspective.
Today, we'll be looking at the brand new Roto Grip RST Hyperdrive, and I'm going to be comparing it to the Roto Grip Gem and the Hammer Effect Tour.
And I'll be comparing it to the Storm Ion Max and the Radical Outer Limits Solid. These comparisons will give us and you an idea of what these rocks look like going down the lane. Afterwards, we will rate them anywhere from nuts to trash and give you our unbiased review of them. So make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you out on the lanes.
All right, initial thoughts on the RST Hyperdrive. For a big early asymmetric ball, I thought it actually looked fairly good. I don't typically throw the bigger type of bowling balls on house shot conditions because it's just a little bit too much ball for me. But even here, I feel like it was actually angular enough to where it didn't lock up and go too forward off the end of the pattern, and I was actually able to get the ball through the pins, which I don't typically see a ton with these earlier asymmetric balls. So now we're going to go ahead and compare it to the Roto Grip Gem. All right, after seeing some shots go down the lane with the Roto Grip Gem, I think these two are fairly similar shape-wise off the end of the pattern. I just think the Gem is just a little bit earlier and a little bit smoother. I think the RST just gets down the lane just a little bit more and is just a little bit more angular than the Gem is. So now we're going to go ahead and compare it to the Hammer Effect Tour. All right, after seeing the Hammer Effect Tour go down the lane, I think this is definitely a weaker option to both the balls that I've just thrown. I think it's just a little bit cleaner, gets down the lane a little bit more, and is quite a bit more angular than the RST is for sure. Had to be a little bit further left just because of how quick to the friction it wanted to be in comparison to the RST. So the RST is definitely a little bit more round, maybe a little bit more forward than the Hammer Effect Tour is. All right, final thoughts on the RST Hyperdrive. I think this one is actually going to be really versatile. I think it's not too super early for a big asymmetric ball, and it's not too clean to where it's going to fit in like a niche spot. I think a lot of people can actually get really good use out of it. Even for throwing it on a house shot, it looked pretty good. So I think even with a little bit more oil, it's probably going to look even better than it is now. So I'm going to have to give this one a fire. I really like this one going down the lane.
Just finished throwing 10 shots with the new Hyperdrive. This ball for me, I started a little straighter and it hooked a lot at first. However, as I started to get a couple more shots on it and as it started to lane shine, it wanted to be a little bit more cleaner down lane for me in a sense, where if I got it to friction, it overhooked, but if I didn't get it there, it kind of never wanted to get off spot for me. I tend to find a lot of big balls do this, especially as that surface wears down. And it gave me an okay shape, just not, optimal for what we're bowling on right now. So we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with Storm Ion Max and see how it compares. Just wrapped up throwing 5 shots with the Storm Ion Max, and this ball gave me a more blendable shape than the Hyperdrive did. It wasn't as quick to friction, it was a little bit more forward off spot as well, but that's why I like this ball. I feel like this ball's forward enough to where if I miss in, it still gets off of it, and if I get it to the friction, it doesn't want to go sideways on me. It still gives me that control that I like to see. So now we're going to go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Radical Outer Limits Solid. Just wrapped up throwing 5 shots with that Radical Outer Limits Solid. This ball was a little bit more comparable to the Hyperdrive, but was definitely more off spot down lane. You could see if I missed right, it was very quick to friction and kept going, where I needed really to keep it inside. If I trusted it to the friction at all, it was going. It was a lot better when I kept it more in front of me, but still didn't give me absolute trust and faith that it was going to strike every time from that angle. Final thoughts on the Roto Grip RST Hyperdrive. This ball for me gave me a decently predictable shape. I can see it being a lot better on higher volume patterns where you have to keep it a little bit more in front of you and keep the hand forward. But for what we're bowling on right now, I'm going to have to rate this ball a meh. I didn't think it gave me the greatest shape on the lane. It wasn't terrible, but definitely not the ball I'd go to first out of the bag. Just overall, I don't think it's a bad ball. I just think for what we're bowling on right now, it's just way too strong and too responsive to friction.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.